Sapphire dragons. Very pretty. Alright, this one is definitely one of the scariest out of all the ones I've seen. It does have a very pretty design, but more than that, it has spider climb, which I've yet to see in this entire series so far, and out of any dragon stat block I've ever seen. I've never seen spider climb. And it also has the tunneler feature, like the Emerald Dragon does. Its breath weapon damage type is thunder damage, which is a con save. And if you fail the saving throw, you're incapacitated till the end of your next turn. Yikes, that's like full turn, full round, just out of the game. Like, and if it happens like right before your turn, that would suck. Actually, no, if it happens right after your turn, that'd probably suck the most, because then you have to wait the longest to go again. But this is very interesting. This dragon definitely has some interesting features, like it causes plentiful crystal formations and veins of sapphire gemstones to show up near its lair. It can cast clairvoyance while within its lair with a range of 6 miles. It can even create a mile distance long telepathic bond with creatures. And giant spiders just show up. Like, yes, they're the sapphire dragon's favored prey, but they're just attracted to the lair, or they're just the 6-mile radius of the lair. Which brings us to the fact that sapphire dragons are very militant and strategic in nature. They're going to think before they act. They very much utilize their ability to move through ground consistently by tunneling around. They want to observe their targets and assess their threat before they act. And they're likely to have their lair either be very deeply dug into the ground manually, or just be a part of like vast cave systems. Likely befriending local cave dwarves or deep gnomes and the like to like protect the territory around their lair. They are gem dragons, which means they're obviously on the more neutral line. They have like personality tables and everything. So outside of like their key points, they're not as well defined like mentally as the other dragons are. But like, also, this is the only dragon I've seen so far. Like, at its strongest form, it has access to Dissonant Whispers, Hold Monster, Meld into Stone, Telekinesis, and Teleport. Like hard teleport, which is nuts. Not Rune of Recall like the Gold Dragon has, which was like one of the big things about it that made it like super good, is that it can just teleport a whole group of people away into safety. This thing just has teleport, so it can like, obviously there's risk of it fucking up, but that means it could just pop in and like, yeah, it's once a day, but they, in a circumstance that they feel the need to, they could just pop right in, and that's nuts. It's crazy. They have a special legendary action where they can take a medium or smaller object and fling it at any creature within 60 feet, and that's like a DC 20 dex save and 12d6 bludgeoning damage. That is a hefty legendary action. And from what I'm looking at, I also think this is the first one to have blind sight, which makes sense. Like, it makes sense for it to have blind sight because it tunnels around a lot and it lives underground, which, like, no matter how good your dark vision is, you can't see the enemies in a cave around you if you're tunneling within the walls, you know? So there's a lot of different ways. I think all the special mechanics the gem dragons have definitely make up for the fact that they're like 1 or 2 less legendary resistances, and a lot of their stuff doesn't hit as hard. And also the fact that they don't have a damage immunity. Because we're starting to, like, I'm really starting to make out where the specialties of each of these guys are. Like, the metallic dragons have their secondary breath weapon options. They're a lot more adept at magic. Overall, the chromatic dragons are supposed to demonstrate like such a hard control or just a sheer amount of force through their element that it's just supposed to wreak terror. And the gem dragons have such a wide span of abilities that it means that yes, they do have specializations, but it also means they can prioritize specific abilities they have and just abuse those the most, which makes this all super interesting. The last detail on them is what they hoard, which they prefer weapons, armor, um, books about like the histories of battles or like warfare tactics, and like the centerpiece of their hoard is likely to be like a well categorized army that may even include like very powerful magical items and stuff. Like these guys kind of feel like like military buffs in the same way that the blue dragon feels like a nobility kind of like buff, you know, like the way that a blue dragon is like hyper fixated on nobility and that special type of importance. Sapphire dragons do seem to have a very deep attachment to strategy and military assessment, and it can vary anyway from them just using it to develop better strategies for protecting their cave to developing strategies to help protect nearby towns that include people they like talking to or stuff like that. It also says here that they tend to keep an eye out for aberrations or other creatures that are like corrupted by the far realm, which I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that. I'm pretty sure it means, because like if you know about how beholders work, they're basically like amalgams that spawn from like coalesced like dream essence or some shit like that. If too many people are having nightmares about beholders start popping up. So I'm thinking it's like that. Like they're likely to even communicate with specifically emerald dragons often to try and keep an eye out for like weird occult phenomena that spread about. It's really interesting. So my brain's like, are sapphire dragons the ones who are like the gem dragon who wants to keep their eyes out for like in case mind flares pop up, which is very funny idea. It's very interesting the fact of that like sapphire dragons may not be inherently good, but also they just really don't like the idea of like aberrant creatures specifically stepping on their shit, which is very fun to me. Lastly of which, go check out the fucking start play. I'm looking for players for a new campaign coming up, and the link is literally going to be in that pinned comment on the side of the on the side there. You're going to be able to find a link directly to my start playing account and check out the campaign, see if you're interested, and check out all the different times. If none of the times fit exactly, there's a lot of wiggle room there. It's literally just whatever. I'm going to be running it a weekly game preferably, and it's literally just going to be whatever time slot fills up first. So come check it out. Anybody's welcome, whether you're new to the game or you're very experienced at the game. Come check it out, and if you want to play, we can. Obviously, there's gonna have to be some back and forth, but pretty much anybody is welcome.